Students, today we are going to discuss about the topic powder metallurgy. Powder metallurgy is nothing but making the production of material with the help of the metal powders. Powder metallurgy may be defined as the art of science producing metal powders and utilizing them to make these serviceable objects. Powder metallurgy is a forming and fabrication technique consists of three major processing stages. First, the primary material is physically. The process of powder metallurgy in general consists of the powder production, powder characterization testing, mixing, binding, processing, compact sintering operations. Powder metallurgy is an improved alternative method of compared to industrial metallurgy, being more economical for large production areas. The method of powder metallurgy has permitted the attained composition and properties not possible by the conventional method. Processing of metal powders. Powder metallurgy process, the process where metal powders are compacted into desired shape. So the schematic diagram shows the operating process of a powder metallurgy manufacturing. Powder production. First step to powder metallurgy process is automation, reduction, electrolyte deposition, carbonyl, combination, mechanical. Automation produces a liquid metal stream by injecting the molten metal through the small orifice. The stream is broken up by the jets. Molten metal. Molten metal turns as atomizing water spray. So atomizing chamber is used to the size and shape of the particles from the automation depends upon the temperature, flow rate, size of the nozzle and the jet of characteristic. The granule size of the powder metals granules are shown here. Reduction of metal oxide, a process that uses the gases as a reduction against hydrogen, oxygen, carbon monoxide, also known as the removal of oxygen. Electrolytic deposition and carbonate. Electrolytic deposition utilizes either occasion solution or fused salt, metal carbonate. So various granule size is shown in the diagram. Mechanical combination, also known as the pulverization. So involves rolling, crushing, milling of a ball mill or grinding the brittle. So irregular rod in chemical decomposition, mechanical combination. Flat mechanical combination shows the metal powders forming on the granules. Powders of two or more pure metals are mixed in a ball mill. Precipitation from the chemical solution, production of the metal chips by the machining, vapor condensation. Types of powder, nano powders, particle size and shape of the distribution. Particle size is measured by the process called screening. Screening is the processing through the metal powder through which particle shape and factor. Major influence processing characteristics or shape factor. Acceptance ratio is the ratio of the largest dimension to the size distribution and other properties. Basic steps in the powder metallurgy. The powder production, blending or mixing, compaction, sintering. Blending metal powders, blending is mixing next step. A reason for blending, the import special physical and mechanical properties or characteristics. So the diagram shows the mixing plant of the powders. Hazards of blending, metal powders are explosive because of the high surface area to volume ratio. Grounding equipment. Compaction of metal powder, the third step in the powder metal process, which is the blended powders are pressed into various shape in dies. The purpose of composition is to obtain the upper punch, lower punch, and then die, upper punch. So this is shown the operation. Filler shoes, top punch, compact part. There's various spots utilized in the powder metallurgy process. The density of the green compact depends upon the pressure applied. The important factor in the density is the size distribution of the particle. The higher of the, so the graph represents the various operations, operating condition, compacting pressure, density of the powder utilized for the manufacturing process. Compacting to achieve the greater density is required on the external pressure. Stages of compacting, various compaction step by step compacting pressure is shown. So the diagram shows about the various process. Isostatic pressing operation. So various processing operation taken place in the isostatic pressure is given in the slide. So the diagram shows the isostatic pressing machine. Powder injecting molding. Metal melting above 1000 degrees centigrade. Carbon, stainless steel, copper, bronze, titanium. Example, watches, parts of guns are utilized with the help of the powder metallurgy. Spray deposition, a shape generation process used to produce seamless tube and piping, produces 99% solid metal. Other compacting and shaping process, powder rolling, extrusion, pressureless compacting, ceramic matter. Then sintering, green compact, temperature within the 70 to 90%. Sintering metal powder, sintering product, sintering furnaces. So these are all the various process utilized in the powder metallurgy manufacturing. So sintering is the one of the important secondary and finishing operation. Coining and sizing, impact forging, machining, grinding, plating, heat treatment, impregnation, infiltration of the die design for powder metallurgy. These thin walls of projection create fragile tooling, holes in pressing. Advantages of powder metallurgy for structural components. Limitation of powder metallurgy process. In general, the principal limitation of the process are those imposed by the size and shape of the part. The configuration of the capacity of the stroke of the compacting press and compacting pressure required limit the cross-sectional area. Sintering of low melting powders like lead. Disadvantages of powder metallurgy, limited size capability due to large forces, specialty machines, need to control environmental corrosion concern, less well-known person. Financial consideration, die design must withstand 1000 cases required specially designed. Typical size. So these are all the some parts manufactured with the help of the powder metallurgy. If you have any doubt, you can raise your questions. Okay, we conclude this session and we will continue the remaining discussion in the next session. What we have.